eggs from the farm for the final winter share of the 2015 season. It always feels kind of good from the farmer's perspective to be done, even though we'll miss doing this over the winter months. Eric is with me, and we're going to deconstruct the share. Go ahead.
First thing on top is the kale, which has this lovely frosted halo. If you look at the tips of all the kale leaves, they've got there's a slight color change on them versus the regular tone. Delicious. That's an indication that these are going to taste fabulous. Very delicious. Carrots, self-explanatory.
Yeah, Bolero again, they've been frosted in the field, so they're going to be really sweet. If you want to hang on to them, just keep them in the bag in your crisper drawer, and they'll keep for weeks, if not months.
Ye old Brussels sprouts.
We had no expectation of having Brussels sprouts in this share because of that really severe cold snap. If you look at my hands, they're pretty red. We spent all day yesterday picking Brussels sprouts.
The hands.
And it was wet and windy. And so I think the crew about had it by the end of the day. They are delicious, but you'll have to kind of check them over really nicely and trim the ends. We tried to be as selective in the field as we could be. Saute them in a little bit of butter and garlic, and they're awesome.
Personally, I like these roasted. Oh, and with the kale, we didn't say anything about how we prepare kale. My favorite way to do the kale is I like it chopped up, and then I fry it in sesame oil with, and at the end, after it's cooked, I throw in some cashews, and I like it I like it spicy. So I put some like crushed red pepper flakes in the oil so that the heat from the cayenne diffuses into the oil. I think that's delicious. One of my favorite ways to eat that.
Sounds good. We're loading you up on garlic because it's the end of the season, so you're getting a couple handfuls of garlic. Just keep it at room temperature. Use it as you see fit. It's starting to root a little bit because we do not spray an anti-rooting compound. If you want to, you can roast all of this and then freeze it for use later. All you have to do is a lot of people just cut the top off, roast it whole like this, let it cool, and then you squeeze the contents out into a little tiny Ziploc baggie, and then you can use those contents later.
Or just like Cheese Whiz, just delicious.
You have to like garlic quite a bit to do that. I can do that, but not many others. We have some yellow onions, which have a pretty decent shelf life. Just put them, at room temperature on your counter, out of direct sunlight. They'll keep for quite a time.
Beautiful.
Nice. We have some high curry turnips. These are not long shelf life turnips. Use them up in the next couple of weeks. These are the same variety as the little spring ones that we have. They're a little more mature, so they'll have a more pronounced flavor. Sauteed in any kind of oil and or butter with garlic and salt. They're amazing.
Yeah, I consider these kind of premium, so I don't really mix these in with anything else because I like the flavor of these so much. I really like the fried all by itself in the butter idea quite a bit. Yep. But if you're averse to the whole turnip idea, or maybe your kids are, you can always blend these in with your mashed potatoes. It's a good sneaky way to use it. And they're not powerful enough of flavor that it's going to overwhelm the potato.
Nice. Now we have celeriac, one of my personal favorite vegetables. This is one of the nicest celeriac crops that we've had in a very long time. They sized up for us. All you do is you simply peel and use anywhere that you would use regular celery and or cooking root.
Yeah. I consider this one of the premium stock bases for soups. This lends a really excellent background flavor to any soup you're going to do. Some folks on staff really enjoy this in chicken noodle.
Oh, yeah.
Delicious. And this, if you wrap this in a plastic bag or airtight container in your crisper drawer, these will start to turn kind of brown on the outside, which is not an indication of going bad, and they last for ages. We have shallots, a nice handful of shallots. These also have a nice shelf life. Keep them at room temperature on your shelf and out of direct sunlight. A red cabbage, Eric?
Yeah. Apparently I like fried things because this, and once again, I do this I like this probably the best, the same way I like my kale. I fry this up a little slightly spicy, maybe throw some cashew with it. Although, it's cabbage, so I use this in a variety of ways. But that's my favorite.
Yep. Next, but certainly not least, are more red potatoes. We had a wonderful potato crop again this year. These, again, keep them at room temperature and use them up before they start to go soft and or sprout, and out of direct sunlight to help keep them from sprouting. Mm-hmm. And then the last thing in the box, beautiful, We had probably the best butternut squash yield we've had in years, so you're getting 2 of these. So keep them at room temperature again, in a cool spot, and they should keep quite a while. Just keep your eye on them so they don't go soft. So
All right, thank you guys.
until next spring, have a great winter.
Yeah.
Happy holidays from everybody here at Grinnell Heritage Farm. Thank you very much for supporting us, and we hope you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year.